We have been to almost every Maker Faire that they've had, almost everywhere that they've had them. And we gotta say, we think Maker Faire is the coolest event on the planet. And we are so happy to be here in Michigan having the first Maker Faire, the first Maker City. It's really cool to be here. We've had the most awesome time here in Detroit and as we've wandered around Michigan. We are eEpyBirds. My name is Fritz, and this is Steven. And we are known as the Coke and Mentos guys. Yeah. It's a strange thing to be doing, but it's way too much fun. It's been almost 4 years since we put our video on YouTube, and we've had, oh gosh, all kinds of millions of people come to see it. And we've had all kinds of really awesome people come to see it here at Maker Faire. We first want to let you guys know about the splash zone.
Oh, yeah.
You are standing inside the barriers. Y'all might get wet. Now, particularly if you are in line with these tables right in this general area. This is the extreme hazard zone. Now, as we go over here, y'all might get just a little bit of spray drifting over in this direction, just a little bit of spray. As we get into the corner, it's pretty safe. You're unlikely to get wet over here. But then as we get closer in here, you might get some spray from off here. You might get a little bit in here, little bit. But then it starts getting safer again, and all y'all in this corner, y'all are pretty safe. Probably stay dry. If you want to stay dry, be right over here. If you want to get wet, come right on over here. You just might get wet. Now, if the wind kicks up, all bets are off. You might get out there. We just don't know. Now, what we have one important message for you to take away from this show and from all of Maker Faire, and that is, try this at home. That is what Maker Faire is all about. And let's show you a little bit. There's a few different ways that you can do this yourself.
The simplest way to do it, you need no equipment whatsoever except a bottle of soda. We use diet. 5 or 6 Mentos, a piece of paper, and a business card or a playing card or a postcard or any kind of card you can get. And all you're going to do is open your bottle of soda and then roll up the paper into a simple tube about the size of a roll of Mentos. And then you drop 5 or 6 Mentos into that. Okay, you put a card on the bottom first, and then you drop 5 or 6 Mentos into it. And that would be your Mentos loading device. That's all you need. Then you take your bottle of soda. And when you're ready for the explosion,
get ready.
You're going to pull the card out, the Mentos will drop in, and the reaction will happen.
He's ready to duck.
Like this. Oh, we got some good soda today. And the most important thing is once the soda hits the ground, you do this. That's right. Now that's the simplest way to do it. It's the way everybody here can do it next weekend in your backyard or in your driveway or in your mother's bedroom. So when you do 100 bottles, over 100 bottles the way we do, you can't do it that way because we have them all set to go off at certain times in certain directions. The way we first did it, and the way you see us doing it if you see our video on YouTube, was we took 5 or 6 Mentos and we drilled with a little cordless hand drill a little hole in each of them. And then we threaded them on a piece of fishing line. So there are 5 or 6 like a string of beads. And then we drilled a hole in a bottle cap. That's about a ½ inch hole. And put the thread of the string of beads up through that hole. And then took just a regular binder clip from the office, clipped it on top, and that holds the whole assembly all together, put the entire thing back on the bottle. So that string of Mentos hangs just a hair over the level of the soda. But when we take off, you don't need to shake it. People say shake it, you don't need to shake it. As soon as we pull that binder clip off, that whole string of Mentos will fall into the bottle. And now instead of coming out the open bottle top, it'll come out the hole we've drilled in the shape we want. So this is a little smaller and it should go a little higher. The problem with that method is when you do a show for Letterman and he wants a full rehearsal, and then the next day you're doing another show and they want a full rehearsal, and you want to have a set for backup, you need to drill 3,000 Mentos in your little workshop in Buckfield, Maine, and that's a pain in the neck. So we have a new system for all the shows that we do, no drilling required, no threading required, and that makes at least us very happy. And all this is a piece of PVC pipe with an end cap on it. There's a PVC end cap you can get from the plumbing supply store, the hardware store. There's a pinhole. There's a pin that goes crosswise on the bottom, so that we load the Mentos into the tube and the pin holds them in. We screw the whole thing onto the top of a soda bottle, and when that pin comes out, the Mentos drop in, and the reaction comes out through the hole in the end cap that we drilled. For this, I think Chip is going to get help. There we go.
Right over here again. You ready to
Pull that pin out, step back so he doesn't hear that, and the reaction will come out. Well, that black spot means we've got
watch on the duck when it starts coming down.
3, 2, 1, go. One of the other things that this new system allows us to do is we can drill different hole patterns in the cap so that we can have different spray patterns when we let the soda. There's 3 holes drilled in it, one on the top and one to the left and one to the right. Three, 2, 1. Now you'll notice that one has an orange stripe, so if you look around on our setup, you can see an orange stripe. You can predict that that's what's going to happen from those bottles. This one has a purple stripe, and this one just has a spot cut, I think, with a hacksaw across the top. And that does this. 3, 2, 1.
You're not going to get wet. I'll tell you when to do.
Now you can get these very nozzles right over there in the maker shed if you want to get yourself a kit. And I don't know whether they've got any left today, but if they don't, just let us know. And if you can't, you can still use the paper tube method, which everybody should try.
Now, the biggest question that everybody asks us is, why does this happen? What makes this combination of Coke and Mentos so wonderfully explosive? Well, you'd think it would be a chemical reaction. You'd think it would be something about the ingredients of the Mentos and the Coke that causes this. But it's actually a physical reaction. It's a physical reaction called nucleation. And what it is we've got all of this carbon dioxide, all of this fizz inside the soda. And it is looking for a way to get out. It's under pressure and it wants to go somewhere. Well, it looks for anything bumpy that it can grab onto. It's physically drawn to anything bumpy. You can see this in action if you take a cup of soda and you put your finger inside. You see bubbles forming on the ridges of your finger. That's nucleation in action. Well, it turns out that the surface of Mentos Mint is sprayed with over 40 layers of liquid sugar. And that not only makes things explosive, but it means that there are hundreds of thousands of little bumps on the surface. And as they sink to the bottom of the bottle, carbon dioxide is grabbing onto all those bumps as it goes. You get bubbles forming on the surface of the Mentos. You get bubbles forming on top of those bubbles. You get this cascading reaction, and all this pressure is released. And in about half a second, it comes flying out the mouth of the bottle. Now, because it's a physical reaction, it means that it works with just about any substance that you drop into soda. Some work better than others. Let's take a look.
So the trick is, how bumpy is the surface on a microscopic level? Even if you drop pennies into a bottle of soda, you will get some reaction because there's a little bit of bumpiness. And in the tube that Fritz is now holding, the bottle that's on top of the Fritz bottle, the tube that's on top of the bottle that Fritz is now holding, there is a stack of pennies. There's 10 pennies in there. When he pulls this out, he should get some reaction. That's just pennies. That's not Mentos. That's not Lifesavers. That's only pennies. which really helps show that it's not the chemical mix of Mentos and Diet Coke, it's the physical reaction of the surface of the materials.
Peanut M&M.
So this next one is peanut M&M, which are good because they fit in our tubes. Is this thing loaded?
That's a little bit of it.
Okay, a lame